Hello, my loves. Arnold writes, My wife and I are in our 50s, and we've had 3 amazing children together. But having them around and committing ourselves to taking care of them has made our sexuality a lot tamer than what it was in the beginning of our relationship. Now that our last child has finally left the nest, I want to revive that spark and turn my wife back into the sexually carefree woman she used to be. We used to love being naked around each other, and I want her to start going nude around the house all the time, but she's grown self-conscious about her body over the years, and I have a feeling she'll shoot me down if I bring it up. How do I go about making that happen? Well, I think that I love you, Arnold. I, too, used to love prancing around an apartment wearing nothing but the lazy pubic hairs that tickled the base of my cock, but sadly life decided to be a big meanie, and now I'm residing in a 4-walled prison with barely tolerable roommates. The sense of freedom that I had while roaming through that studio territory I considered home was unparalleled. To be honest, it's the rightful way to be, and it helps that it makes being afflicted by a sudden case of diarrhea or vomit-inducing illness that much more convenient. Yes, naked is best. And when a person truly loves being naked most of the time, they want to extend that thrilling happiness with the person they adore. And in your case, I have to say that you're fortunate you've attached yourself at the hip to someone who, at one point in time, shared your perspective on lifestyle nudity. Your wife has been there and done that, so even if her mental has shifted on the idea of strolling naked through your home on the regular, she will never forget how doing so in the past made her feel, and that's a supreme advantage for you. So your goal is to remind her how much fun it once was to do so. You have to remind her of that freedom. As far as her body image goes, you're right to worry about it. Women exist in a world that constantly reminds them that they should look and act a certain way in order to be considered attractive. And if your wife has let herself go at all, she's keenly noticed as the years have gone by, especially if she has friends who are in better shape than her or live more active lifestyles. What I'll recommend is for you to start complimenting her on her body as soon as possible. Tell her how her body turns you on, how it makes you hard, how much you love looking at her, and don't be afraid to be specific now and again. Take one day to compliment her on her tits, and if she says something to disregard your affections, remind her that they are your tits just as much as hers, and that means that you love nothing more than to suck them into your mouth and give her nipples a good tickle. And then try to do it, whether she successfully fights you off with a smile or not. Make a consistent effort to show that you consider her desirable, and that will wear off over time and affect her in a positive way, trust me. Then take another day to fawn over her legs or her stomach, or kiss and nibble at her neck sometimes as you pass by. And take special care to compliment her on things that she doesn't like about herself. If she thinks she has ugly feet, randomly tell her that you think her feet are cute, or give them a spontaneous rub or even a kiss. In those instances, you don't need to say anything. Simply do. Actions, after all, speak much louder than words to a woman. You're doing this because you want to transition into living in a more sensual manner. Being naked at all is an erotic experience, Arnold, and that is heightened when you add another body into the mix, especially one of a lover. You have to get her used to that regular eroticism again if you want to live there with her more often than not. After you've taken time to do what I've recommended, I want you to take even more time to do so when she's naked. Stare at her when she's fully exposed and tell her that she's beautiful, that she's sexy. Touch her. Kiss her. Join her in the shower one day and take your time to explore her body. This is all lifestyle foreplay, Arnold. Regardless of how deeply self-conscious she is of herself, you have to make it clear that you don't care about any of that rubbish. You obviously still find her attractive. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to live with her naked now that the house is to yourselves. So make her feel that. Make it impossible for her to feel otherwise. Oh, and if you haven't already learned how to eat pussy, Arnold, nothing awakens a woman's sexuality more than having her coochie regularly stimulated to orgasm by her partner's mouth and hands. You can find plenty of articles written by wonderful lesbians on the art of cunnilingus on the interspace, and if you're not a pussy-eating connoisseur now, then I offer 1 ounce of advice. Worship the clitoris and take your time. Eating pussy is a long game, not a short one. After about a month of doing what I've said, I want you to surprise her by hosting a nude picnic for her in the most romantic part of your home. Although if you have a private backyard or balcony, then I recommend you do it there. Beforehand, discreetly find out what her favorite romantic songs are and what her favorite foods and desserts are. You'll be playing that music in the background and feeding her those morsels in good fun. I want to stress that word, Arnold. Fun. Keep it light, keep it playful, keep it fun, and everything will work out just fine. Nothing has to be perfect, so don't stress too much about perfection. This process simply has to reflect your adoration for your wife. That will be more than enough. You'll inform her of this nude picnic with an invitation. You can make that however you wish, but plan your picnic on a quiet weekend. Make sure that neither of you have anything planned for that romantic night. End the picnic with sex, and afterwards explain to her that you've been thinking about how fun it would be to start being naked around the house with her. Everything that you've done to that point will have been done with the purpose of making her comfortable with your adoring view of her nakedness, Arnold. And if you've done well enough, she won't offer too much resistance to the idea, especially since, like yourself, she was once a bare-naked pro. But what do you guys and gals think? I don't know everything, I can only say what I feel and what I know. Never forget that your comments, married to my words, could impact a stranger's life for the better, so don't hesitate to leave your thoughts. Until next time, my loves. And I hope this helped, Arnold. Good luck out there. It's hard for a yearning heart.